Ready to turn your passion for helping others into a professional coaching skill set? The CPAC Empower Coach Academy, in partnership with Oregon State University, is now enrolling for fall 2026. Join an ICF-accredited Level 1 coach training program designed to help you coach with confidence, presence, and purpose. Start date is October 1st. Visit yesempower.com to learn more.
Welcome to Rewired. I'm your host, Tiffany Grimes with Empower Coaching and Training. Welcome back to Rewired, where neuroscience meets real life change. I'm your host, Tiffany Grimes. I'm here for episode 42 with you. And today we're talking about something that every leader eventually discovers. And when I say leader, I want to clarify, I'm talking about not just leaders of organizations, but parts of family and of community and of different types of relationships. So all of us are leaders in our own right. So take that word and apply it to yourself. And one of the things we learn as leaders is that growing people isn't all that different from growing plants. Now stick with me here. You can't force either one. Rather, as a leader, you really focus on creating the right conditions, tending to the soil, noticing the environment, right? That is the role of a leader, is really looking at and taking care of the conditions that the plant requires to grow. And today's guest, Sarah Strickler, co-founder and chief community officer of Grown Rogue, a company that has grown from a small medical cannabis operation here in Southern Oregon into a publicly traded multi-state organization known for its craft quality products, disciplined execution, and intentional culture, knows all about both growing plants and certainly growing people. But this conversation isn't just about building a successful company. It's about building yourself. Sarah shares a line that has really stayed with me since our conversation, which is you can't grow a company faster than you grow yourself. And we really explore what that means to lead through uncertainty, knowing this about ourselves, that the work is inside, learning to let go of control, to trust other people, and to recognize that sometimes the biggest bottleneck in an organization isn't the strategy, it's us as leaders. And again, really think about leadership in that broad sense. It does not necessarily mean leading an organization. If you are part of a family, part of a community, this conversation will speak to you. What surprised me most, though, was hearing Sarah describe the daily practices that keep her grounded, because they're not flashy. They're not complicated. They're not remarkably human. It's not an app that one has to subscribe to or a membership that one has to have. It's prioritizing and making things like breath, movement, journaling, time outside, intentional pauses, non-negotiables. These are part of a leadership practice. The kind of practices that help regulate our nervous system before we ever step into a meeting or make an important decision. As Sarah reminds us, leadership isn't about pretending pressure doesn't exist. It's about learning how to stay steady with it. So we're expecting it and then building a relationship with ourselves so we're ready to be there for it. Whether you're leading a business, a team, a family, or simply trying to become a better version of yourself, I feel really confident that you will find wisdom in this conversation with Sarah today. So settle in and join me for my conversation with Sarah Strickler. Well, if you're ready, I'm ready. Shall we?
Let's do this.
Okay, beautiful. Sarah, welcome to the Rewired podcast.
Thank you, Tiffany, for having me. I'm so excited to be here. As you know, I'm such a fan,
I think about you with this podcast because you and I were just chatting one day and like, wouldn't it be fun? Oh my gosh, I want to be on a podcast. I want to do a podcast. And then now look at us manifestors.
It's all about manifesting. I totally remember that conversation too.
Yeah.
I remember sitting there. I mean, it was so clear. Such is life. you know?
Yeah, so cool. Well, before we hear about your, business and your leadership and all of these things, I just want to kind of touch base with Sarah, the human being. And we always start the podcast off the same way, which is to really think about the word empowered. And, at Empower Coaching and Training, our belief is empowered people empower people. And certainly you are an example of that in many ways, personally and professionally. But I'm curious, when in your life have you felt most empowered, and how has that experience shaped the leader you are today?
Wow, I love this question. I knew you were going to ask me this. It's like so heavy, and I love it. When I was thinking about this question, I just had to reflect upon things, and it's not super grand in any way. But for me, what I feel is that when I take action
Mhm.
about a thought or a dream or a vision, it's that action that I take in that, right? So, like, actually doing the thing that's going to help move it forward or conquering that fear. And it can be just one small thing or it can be really grand, but it's the action. When I feel empowered through the action that I
Yeah.
take is when I feel really like I can do this. I can see the progress. I can start to see and feel and recognize what's being established. It's
Yeah.
pretty powerful.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. We just did an episode a few weeks ago and it was about worry. And that was kind of what it landed in is building. Worry itself isn't a bad thing. It's leading us, it can be hinting towards an action that we need to take.
Yes.
And so it was this idea of like, how do we listen? Not let it run the show, but really listen to the worry and think, what do I need to do? What do I need to say? What action is this calling? Because it feels so good to take action, as you're
It does.
mentioning. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think sometimes we just have to, listen to it because sometimes we can talk ourselves out of it, right? Like, I think that's part of the problem. Like, you may not even start, right? You talk yourself out of you have the whole conversation in your head and go, well, I just can't do it.
Yeah.
But if you
Oh, yeah.
actually, I don't know if you ever done that, but
I'll just sit and worry about it. I'll just keep thinking. That's what I'll do. I'll just keep thinking. That's helpful.
yeah, but then that compounds over time, those actions that you take, even if they're small in the beginning, they start to build upon themselves. And that's where you get the confidence and it becomes more clear what you're doing because you're just
Yeah.
one action builds upon another. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden you have a habit or
And there it
a
is.
company or
Yes. Yes. I love it. And let's talk about those habits and the actions you've been taking because you have co-founded this really beautiful company that is doing so much more than just selling a product. And, I've had the opportunity to hear the story of Grown Rogue and the roots of that. And, these conversations that started at your kitchen table and are now national conversations. For the listeners who may not know Grown Rogue or know your story, know the roots of it, take us back to the beginning. What was the vision? What was the conversation around the kitchen table? What is Grown Rogue today? And while we will focus on Grown Rogue, what we're really talking about today is something special that you're doing within Grown Rogue, which is really thinking about leadership and taking thought-based action in leadership and building culture around it. But let's just start with the beginnings. What is Grown Rogue?
I love this. So, yeah, Grown Rogue is a flower forward cannabis company. We often, we're in multiple states. We're in Oregon, Michigan, New Jersey, soon to be Illinois and Minnesota. We're a THC, like I said, cannabis flower forward company with a variety of strains and genetics. Our portfolio is vastly growing all the time. That's where our heart and soul is in the plant. But simultaneously to what you said is we're also growing people and we're also growing leaders at the same time. Plants and people, they're not much different, to be honest with you.
As a gardener, I would agree with you. And science backs it up, right? You talk mean
Yes,
to a plant versus giving it love, you're going to have a different outcome. Yeah.
right. So Obi is the co-founder with alongside me. He's my husband, my partner in life, and probably one of my greatest teachers of all time. But we started the company in 2016. That's when Grown Row was officially formalized. And like you mentioned, it really started at our kitchen table. It was just a dream. It was a vision. It was something that we wanted to take forward in a really meaningful way. We came from the medical market, kind of the legacy, if you will, of cannabis. And when we stepped out in 2016, when we decided to take that leap into the recreational market, we really wanted to build something really special, something we could be proud of, our girls could be proud of, our community could be proud of. Obviously we knew we had a product that the consumers were going to really love and appreciate just because we had crafted that for so long. So it was much more than just the product. It was the whole coming out of stigma, legacy, while simultaneously, bringing this craft flower that we had been curating for so long to a new market, a new industry. So it was just kind of this beautiful, really unfolding of that. And in that first year, there was massive just undertaking of taking that action, right? Of build out and operational kind of execution, if you will. We literally built our first indoor grow here in Medford, hence the Rogue Valley, hence the name Grown Rogue.
Yeah.
It was just an empty shell. It was a 17,000 square foot, facility that was an old printing press, warehouse. We worked with the city of Medford. They had been told that you could never build an indoor facility up to code. We really wanted to work with them and be good community stewards to what we were trying to do, and build that out with thought and intentionality, and just see it to what it could become. And simultaneously, we had our outdoor gardens, and we were transitioning those from just 48 plants into hundreds of plants. So a lot of growth, a lot of just belief in what we were doing. We were also at this time raising capital, which was really humbling. And coming from an industry that doesn't have traditional banking, you really were having to share your story and put yourself out there because you were asking people to believe in you and to your vision and your dream.
Yeah. Amazing. A couple follow-up questions. One, for those of us not in the cannabis world, what does flower forward mean? What does that mean?
So flower forward means that we grow just the flower,
Okay.
the plant.
Okay.
So that's our consumer. So really who we're selling to is the dispensaries as well.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
The other thing, so that was my technical question. My other, just I guess, observation is, and you hinted towards it, is that you're really starting this, not it's a business, but it's a movement. You're in the middle of a time where it's just transitioning out of, it sounds like, the medical community, where even that was kind of a new cultural shift, right? And then it moves into more recreational, and your choice is, I want to do this in community. I want to do this with the city. I want to bring people in. I want to have this, I want to be a responsible, community-minded, successful company. And I love that. It wasn't just go in, I'm going to start my business. It's this vision around just, again, not just the product. It's like this vision, this deeper vision of who we want to be as a company.
Yes, I
Yeah.
love that. It was
Yeah.
really, really from a place of taking away the stigma, and really at the heart of it was education, really just educating not only our consumers about what our product was, what our ethos was, and what our end product was, but also educating our community about what this industry is, where it has come from,
Yeah.
allowing people into our facilities to really understand how this product is created or grown, if you will, to
Yeah.
see that change can happen. You can, through discipline, through hard work, through just your passion and your love, you can create something really special. And I'll go back to the environment, right? Like the environments in which you create, like anything can grow. And that's true for people and for the plant. Like you can tell when things are happy. You can tell when people are thriving. You can tell when the plants are happy because they're given the right food, the right love, the right care. You talk to it. It's just this symbiotic, like beautiful kind of relationship that gets created. And same is true for our team, right? Like how we surround them, the tools that we give them, how we set them up for success really plays a role in the end product. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't go wrong there. You just can't.
Yeah. And I think for our listeners, maybe who aren't running, national programs or businesses, this is also, and you're noting it, this is a metaphor for who we are as human beings. You got to believe in it. You got to believe that the change is possible. You got to show up and do the work. You've got to be in community. You've got to, like, all these things you're saying it's a metaphor for not just growing this business, but who we are as human beings, which is really the flavor you're bringing into leadership. Is who I am as a leader matters. It impacts this company. Yeah. So I can't wait to talk a little bit more about that. So we know that, and you mentioned, Grown Rogue is doing what it does. It grows. It is growing significantly across the United States, which is so cool. It's been a couple of years in this growth, and you've worked hard to maintain a strong connection for community and culture. I know you and I have talked about, your involvement in local community projects and speaking and sharing. How do you grow a company nationally without losing the values and the identity that made it successful in the first place? When you started, again, at that kitchen table, how do you keep that now that you're in these states that you're mentioning? How do you keep it?
Yeah, this is such a great question. I'm going to take you back. I think I've shared with you before, Tiffany. I grew up playing basketball. Sports was like my identity, team. That to me is really what set me up for success, I feel like, and gave me the confidence to execute. Is because I learned discipline. I learned how to work with others through that teamwork. I learned that you have to show up even when it's hard, right? Like you have to keep doing the hard things. You're going to win and you're going to fail. You're going to lose. That's just the name of it. Like you're going to make mistakes, and how are you going to recover? Same is true with growing and creating culture. Like you have to be disciplined. You have to be disciplined, and you have to lead by example. And so you have to be the example for what you want out of others. And so by leading and doing the action through discipline, hard work, execution, those are all the reasons and what set you up for that culture to exist.
Yeah.
But also to your question around community, it's building those systems and those people around you to support you, who can build confidence again in you, not just you, but within others. So creating that environment, creating the systems, creating trust, and staying true to who you are and not losing sight of the mission and why you're doing what you do.
Yeah. Yeah. In a recent article that I know hasn't yet been published, but it's on its way out, so I'm excited for listeners to be able to find it. You were writing about just, these beautiful lessons that you had learned, and really, letting go, like some of these greater lessons of just like letting go, trust, all of these beautiful lessons that, like, you can't stay the same leader that you were when you started if you're really growing a company. And that really spoke to me, and how important it is to continue to grow yourself, to really surround yourself with excellence, right? And then let them be excellent.
Yeah.
Let them be excellent. Yeah. And I really loved your reading or your writing in that. But you wrote specifically a statement: you cannot grow a company faster than you grow yourself. And so, and again, it just it really spoke to me. And the facts, research, neuroscience backs that up. You can't fake it. And company staff know, culture tells the story of leaders. And so what have been some of the biggest ways that you have grown personally in order to keep pace with the company's growth?
We'll be back after a quick break.
Want Tiffany Grimes to bring empowers neuroscience-based coaching and leadership tools to your team? Tiffany offers engaging, interactive trainings that help teams communicate more effectively, lead with emotional intelligence, build trust, and stay grounded under pressure. From keynotes to workshops and professional development sessions, Empower brings practical tools your team can use right away. Learn more at yesempower.com.
Yeah, it's such a powerful thing, right? Learning to let go. Again, to what you said, it's probably been the biggest lesson for me. It's been one of the biggest like obstacles or unfoldings, if you will, to really lean into. And I think for me, how I've had to move through that is again surrounding myself with people who support and love and who ultimately I just am so honored to be surrounded by, right? Like when someone wants to come and buy into your vision who has a greater skill set than you, like you might have taken it so far, right? You might have thought, okay, and then someone comes in with this 10-year, acumen of like education and skill set and knowledge. You're like, wow. I mean, thank you. Like it's so humbling, but so honorable. Like it's just, I can't describe it. And then you let go, but then you realize it's just a reflection of like you and your work and the dream and it's playing into that bigger vision and ultimately creating what it was that you wanted to from the beginning. And again, I'll come back to trust. You do have to rely upon your disciplines and the things that give you the strength to move forward. So you really, I think through the process of my leadership growth is leveling up with people who are around me, right? Continuing to build that environment, but also leaning into and finding strength with the disciplines that have been created already. Yeah. Because that's what compounds over time to then you get confident in that. And in that confidence, you get to like take the next leap, do the next action, right? So through that, so you have to really lean into that discipline to be like, okay, I've got to practice. I got to do these things habitually every day, but I'm gaining confidence all at the same time. So when that next moment comes, you're like, I'm solid. I got this foundation, the structure that I know, and I can rely on that, but I'm also capable of taking the next leap because I've gone through what I know, right? But also in the downturns when things get heavy, things get hard, right. You have to lean into those disciplines too, because that will expose so much of your vulnerabilities. And how do you pull yourself back to that, that regulated state when sometimes it can feel so extreme, right? When you're kind of in that urgency or panic or what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to talk about that a little bit. How do you stay grounded as a leader? And I, again, I want to kind of paint this picture of you're now far from the kitchen table. You're across many states. And so, again, these ideas of letting go and trusting and building the teams and all of those things. And also, you've got to come back to you and ground. And, in that same article, you do talk about really knowing the difference between urgency and emergency and what does this need require of me, which is almost always going to be thinking brain, grounded, creativity, problem solving, solution focus. So how do you do that? How do you ground as a company that is growing, and a leader who is feeding that growth? How are you staying grounded?
So you're asking about the secret sauce. Okay.
What's the secret sauce, girl? I will say I have also found, so Sarah and I live in the same community. I have found Sarah at the gym, just like running with headphones on as though we're about to cross the marathon line. And I'm like, where's my little bicycle that I could pedal on? So I know some of your secret sauce is just physical movement, but yeah, what's the secret sauce?
No, so you're spot on. Physical exertion is really, for me, has been, and that's been it all throughout my life. It was I have these kind of non-negotiables, if you will, and that's just a non-negotiable. Like I am going to have my athletics or my movement, that is going to be something that is just a non-negotiable that's going to stick with me because it's gotten me through a lot of seasons of my life and on this journey explicitly with Grown Rogue. But sometimes, when I'm really in that state of overwhelm, or this is really complicated, or this feels so far out of my comfort zone, or I really have to come back to things that are so like grounded in just, one action leads to another. So maybe I need a drink of water. Maybe I just really need to lean into what my body physically needs in that moment, right? Like I really have to listen and lean in and go, wait, I'm gonna take a deep breath. Okay, next I'm gonna maybe I need to step outside because I need a different hit of air or energy. Maybe I'm hungry. Maybe I'm just feeling weak or tired because I need some nourishment. So really first listening to what exactly does me, Sarah, actually physically need, right? And then again, taking that action towards, okay, if I do this one thing, it's going to compound to the next thing. It's going to take me to the next thing that I need to do that I know to be right.
Yeah.
Again, going back to those disciplines around, okay, if I just take this one step, if I just put on my tennis shoes, I'm going to be able to put on my jacket to go run outside. It's just those things just compound. And the more you practice those types of habits, they then lead to all the other things that you do. And the version of you that you want to show up as that leader, because you're doing the hard thing to get through the hard thing.
Yeah. And you say that, and again, I think about our listeners who aren't running businesses, but are maybe running families and households and the logistics of just what it takes to get through a day. And I think, what you're naming are boundaries, really, these boundaries around my physical self. So all of that work for you, it's the leadership, role. I think about, again, the people who are running their families, whatever it is, it's like all of those are heady things so we're like running around kind of disembodied, just being brains with ideas and culture and, good conversation and all these things that we're having to do and produce. But we are attached to these bodies that when we come back into them, I mean, that was your messaging, is like, I move this body. I nourish this body. I give it oxygen. I rest. And that is, for you use the words non-negotiable. And I think it's so critical for us to see that as not something I do at the end of the day if everything else already got done, or if I have time, or even a luxury, like letting go of that belief system and instead building it in as, this is the foundation of the good work I'm bringing into the world, right? Like sustaining this and reconnecting my brain to my body and prioritizing, even if it's a 10-minute walk. Stop saying you don't have time and instead say, this is my 10-minute walk, and everything else kind of has to go around that. And I know that's, I think, hard to hear sometimes, but it's also, nobody else is going to do it.
Yeah.
It is our responsibility as great leaders, as great parents, as great community members, as great friends, to put those boundaries in place and hold them with love, knowing that it magnifies who I am. It magnifies the good work I do. And nobody else is going to make that happen for me. There will never be a time where we just have the time, right?
Yes.
Ever. There will never be a time where we're like, gosh, now today I have time. It's like this, I make the time, and it's foundational to who I am. Yeah. Yeah.
So true. And I think in that there's so many other ways too that you can, not just for the listeners and for others, but, maybe it's picking up the phone and actually calling a friend, maybe it's reaching out to a teammate, taking that pause to be like, man, I just really need to talk this through. Or can you just listen to me and hold space with me for, that 5 minutes? It also could be, I'm a big journaler. I journal a lot just to put it out there, just to flush it out, like think it through. And there's no rhyme or reason to it. You just put it out there.
Yeah.
And that really helps.
It's huge. It's a huge science-backed method of, with the two things you just mentioned, talking and writing are the ways that we can get what's in our head circling around out. Those are the
Yeah.
two ways, right? Between talk to ourselves, we can talk to somebody, we can journal, but yeah, just literally the process of doing it. You don't even need anybody to respond to you with some brilliant answer. It's just, let me get this out of my head.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's 100%. And it feels good once you release that, right? There's just this undoing that you're like, okay, it doesn't just feel so heavy anymore. It doesn't feel like it's my own thing to bury or to carry,
Yeah. Yeah.
that weight of that.
Absolutely. Yeah,
It's a
absolutely.
release.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll highlight this and I'll move on to the next question. But I think this, obviously I get excited about this idea, but, we called it the secret sauce. And it's not a secret. It's basically, it's basic taking care of who we are. It's the most basic, simplistic thing that we can do for ourselves. And I think it's the thing so often skipped over, right? Like the answer to success is in the book, it's in the podcast, it's in the degree, it's in the whatever, but it's here. It's right here inside of us. And we have to tend to it every day. Yeah.
You are
Every
so
day.
spot on
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
day,
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah. So, okay, well, I'll get off my little soapbox about that. But boy, it's just, I love it. I love that kind of work of when leaders really, I love that was your answer of just like grounding body work. It matters and it makes a difference. And the research just backs it. Like, get into this body and get out of your head every once in a while, Yeah.
Yeah. And for me, Tiffany, and I think this plays into what we're talking about, but I come from health and wellness. Not only was I a Division I basketball player, but I also was a massage therapist, and I learned, and I wanted to go on to acupuncture school. That was the journey. That was the path of learning this kind of holistic way of healing and staying connected through kind of that mind body relationship that we have. So for me, that's ultimately how cannabis came into my life. Was I
Right.
saw it as just another tool, just another method of healing. And so for me, that has been a guiding principle around figuring out that ultimate truth around your body and what it can do. It's such a vehicle for telling you, what's off, what's on, when can I accelerate, when should I retreat? So that's always been my kind of barometer for
Yeah.
a lot of
So
things.
great. Yeah. And I know, you're bringing a lot of this growth into the company, kind of this ethos of caring for ourselves means we care for the company even more, right? With this work. And I know that because I get to come in and do some of your professional development, which is so fun to meet all of the teams and all of the folks. And the company, Grown Org, has really invested time and energy and funding into the professional growth of not just the executive team, which is what I love, is that I also get to spend time with your managers and shift leaders and, these amazing people that are out doing the work every day. And so I'm just curious on your end, why has leadership development become such an important part of your culture? You bring people together multiple times a year. You come together in person and really connect and grow together. And so tell me about that process and how that became, a value for you all and what you're doing.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Great leaders aren't born, they're coached. Empower's leadership coaching gives you practical strategies to lead with confidence and compassion. Ready to transform your leadership? Find your coach today at yesempower.com.
Yeah, I love this. And I love that you've been a part of this, Tiffany. I'll just back this up with, when I asked Tiffany to come to one of our first leadership and be our trainer and to kind of guide us, it wasn't because there was a problem or some horrific thing that
I
was.
loved that about this. Yes, I didn't come in needing to fix anything,
There was
which
nothing.
is so great.
It was actually being really on the offensive, if you will, instead of the
Yes.
defensive. It was really being proactive in the thought around, hey, we're building this, but how can we make it better and get tools for when it's going to get hard? Because it's going to get hard. It's already been hard, but we're growing, we're in this growth mode mindset, and what are we going to need to carry this forward? And so when I came to you and said, hey, I have this idea, like, how can you help us develop this kind of programming that really speaks to who we are, what we're building, and so when things do hit that, derailment where it feels like, oh, this is to go off the tracks,
Right.
we're equipped with the tools, the skill set, the knowledge to move forward in a together cohesive way where we're all kind of speaking the same language, if you will. So we're all, speaking to one another, we're problem solving, you know, that's what we do at Rono. We problem solve. You're going to have problems.
Yes.
That's inevitable. Like there's problems every single day, but it's how you overcome and what you do with that information. That it's all information, right? The problem is information. So what are you going to do with that information?
Yeah. Love that. Yeah.
So what are my tools? What do I have? How am I going to equip my team so that we're all prepared to go to battle, if you will, right? To go and do what we do best. And so that was one mindset. That was one shift. But I also, again, coming back to this industry, being a visionary, a founder, what have you, I knew that I was going to need tools. I knew I was going to need equipment to move forward because I didn't come from a traditional industry, if you will.
Yeah.
Systems were built long before there was ever any kind of this, what do you want to call it? Just kind of this structure, this influence by the regulatory bodies, right? That kind of direction. So a lot of that had been instilled already, but I knew I needed more tools. I needed more help. I needed more people to help guide and help produce that. So, and I just thought it was such a gift to give to our team. Like, even if they're at Grown Rogue or not, they're going to take this skill set to whatever next is for them. And that, like, what a gift, right? To give people the opportunity to grow and learn about themselves and to manage, to be amongst other people.
Yeah.
Like it was a no-brainer for me. It was like a no-brainer. It was, how can we help others be the best versions of themselves and be equipped to handle the hard?
Yeah. Yeah. Love that. And I want to just highlight a couple things you said. One is that you really took a proactive approach to building culture, knowing problems were all around you every day, right? Knowing that is the expectation, is that together we are going to need to address these things. And I want us all to have access to these tools. And I loved that. So this proactive approach. And then the second thing I just wanted to note is, that it's giving people this shared language, which I think is so great about the way that you're doing training. It's like we can talk about this through the lens of, what we can control and what we can't control. And we all talked about that. And we did that circle in the training. And so let's bring it into this meeting. And it isn't one person. The load of problem solving or creativity isn't one person's burden to carry when you invest in skilling up everyone around you. It's like everyone has these tools. Everyone has the inspiration from that conversation they had, or the deep connection that happens in personal development or, leadership retreats or whatever it is. Being able to go deeper with somebody, it builds that relationship. So now when the problem comes, we've already got these deeper connections and understandings. And yeah, it's such a wonderful way to invest in human beings, Yeah.
I love it. And, just to add to that, you've been with us now for, gosh, I think 4 years. I don't know.
I think so. Yeah.
And we've added so much talent, just it's the gift of when you grow, you get to be surrounded by these beautiful humans that I just never thought that I could meet or be exposed to. I mean, and to give them opportunity, it's just been so rewarding. And for me, that's the highlight. That's the win, right? To watch people grow into, and I'll just take it a step back, Tiffany, to watch teammates, maybe they started out as a trimmer, which is, all of our product is hand trimmed. But now they're taking on these managerial roles. Now they're moving into these leadership and they're equipped, right? They have the access to the tools. They've been given the opportunity to move forward with us as we continue to grow and expand. And we have folks who have been with us for 10 years. I mean,
Yeah.
that says a lot, I think, about what you're building. When people stay with you and can really trust and believe in what the mission and the purpose is, I can't tell you, it's so rewarding as a founder. It's something I can't explain, because to watch people move their lives forward, it probably means everything to build something where someone can move forward, right? Like that's going to probably make me cry, because I could think of about 15 people on my team right now that have just, you touch people's lives, and not only through what we're creating as our end product for our users, because you're essentially creating an experience for them,
Right.
but we're creating an experience for our whole team and creating an environment where they're thriving and they have opportunity and there is a path forward.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. I was going to say, as you're talking about these teams that come together, that's been really fun for me to witness as you've grown. You've added a couple states, I think, in those years that I've been working with you. And it's like, oh, the team, we need two more tables this time. And now we need a bigger room, and we've got to, and there's always a core team that's like, oh, I've been with you in every training, right? Because of that investment when we make that in human beings, I want to stay. I want more. It creates longevity. And again, the data backs that up. When we invest in people, we get, long careers to work with them and get to grow together. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's
beautiful investment. Yes.
And it just pays off in dividends.
Yeah.
I mean, you just see it. And again, you asked the question earlier around, what do you keep coming back to? How do you create and keep that culture as you move forward and navigate? It's doing things like this, doing these team building exercises, investing in the team to influence the next movement or the next thing that you're going to take on. That's how you stay true and remain, right? It's the familiarity, the trust, the discipline that then allows you to move forward.
Yeah. 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 So beautiful. I think about, as you talk, and again, because you and I have gotten to do some work together, I know a little bit about this path of yours. And I think to go from massage therapy, which is just like it's just you, Sarah, right? Like all the work is you. It's in these two hands. The room is set up because of you. The table is for you. Everything's for you. To running a company, with so many employees and investors and, all of the people that are part of Grown Rogue, and the customer who gets the product and the experience. It's just an amazing growth zone to watch or to witness you on this end, and to be sitting here with it's like you have an MBA. It's like you have it's like you've been training for this your whole life. And yet when you think, you were you were doing this, it was just Sarah, but this whole, like, running this business with such profound wisdom of leadership. Those are the words I'm trying to get out of my mouth, of like, what is hidden within all of these people doing these jobs out in the world by themselves? If they were unleashed to a company, what wonderful new ideas could we have? And I love the just rootedness that you bring into this, and the groundedness that you bring into leadership. It's just wisdom. I mean, it's really just this deep, it feels like a deep ancient wisdom. It's an understanding of people. That's what it is. It's an understanding of people and a love of people, right? Just so beautiful. Yeah, really love that.
I mean, what a compliment from you, Tiffany. I mean, I'm kind of just speechless. I'm like, well, how do I answer that question?
You just absorb it. You don't have to. You can just nod and say thank you.
I'm 6'2", and so I'm a very tall drink of water, if you will. I really never have fit, and I've been in this body for a long time. I've been this height since very early on. And I feel like I've never been defined or put into a box. And, why would I ever want a title? Because then it defines me.
Yeah.
And I want to be undefinable, right?
Yes.
I want to live outside the box. And if I'm stuck in a defined by a role or a position, then I'm limited. But if I don't, I can be anything I want to be and grow up to be whatever I want. So that imagination, creation, but if you'd ask me if this is what I'd be doing at this stage of the game in my life, no way. This is not where this is doing this. This is not, I mean.
And yet it's like you were born for it. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Again, it's about the people you surround yourself. And I'll just keep going back to that. I've had coaches and mentors. You asked, the question around what kind of led me to wanting to bring in that part into Grown Rogue and, cultivating our leaders in that way. And for me, I've always had a coach. I've always had people who instilled belief in me. And I don't think you should ever stop surrounding yourself with that, right? Like that, I think has been one of the beautiful things as a leader to watch and know about, like that kind of blind spot of, oh, this has been with me the entire time. These people who I've surrounded, listened, they've guided, they've set forth a vision, and then I executed upon it, right? They said, here's the play, here's what we're going to do. I need you to go. And then it's like, okay, I'm going to go execute the same thing at Grown Rogue.
Yeah.
We have a plan. We paint the picture of what we're going to do, and then we go out and execute upon it.
Yeah.
Those same habits, discipline, they just transfer over. And it's just so, we talk a lot about how, I think in that article too, about how we're all connected. It's all connected. Your work, your life, your parent, it all translates. So the things that you do and those disciplines and habits, they just carry over into everything that we do.
Yeah. 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 I'm hearing you use those words, habit and discipline, throughout. And I think those are the principles that I really want to highlight as well. And it kind of comes back again to this idea that I was saying, the secret sauce isn't really secret, right? It's the basic leaning into our humanity. And I think what you're mentioning too is like the path to success. While obviously sometimes it's easier for others and harder for others, yes. And also there isn't always a secret sauce with that, right? The habit and the discipline and doing it again. And even if it's raining and even when it's cold and even when you're sore and even when, it's doing it again and again, and habits and surrounding yourself with people who celebrate with you and challenge you and help you grow and reflect with you. And and that's what I love about what you're identifying, is that these are people can take these nuggets and apply them to their lives, whatever you're doing in it, whatever you're trying to be the best at.
Yes.
We can wake up and take these lessons and do them. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think also as a leader, that self-awareness around, these are my strengths. This is where I need work.
Yes.
This is where that self-awareness helps you to become, okay, man, like this is not my wheelhouse. This is not, again, going back to leaning into your body and being like, oh, this doesn't feel, not to say that you can't grow into that or become that, but it's a real sign of just, okay, where do I need to work and where do I need to accelerate what I'm really good at?
Yeah.
So,
yep. Yeah. That self-awareness is everything. Yeah. Which is also a skill that we can develop. There's no secret sauce to it, right? It's just every day, practice it, do the journaling, do the reflecting. Yeah.
And stay curious. I think that's another beautiful thing that correlates into Grown Rogue as well. And just leadership is that we constantly stay curious. We're always learning. We're always having to adapt. We're always having to change. The markets that we're in, they tell us what we need to grow and what they want. And so we have to stay nimble in that way to keep up with kind of that craft niche that we're building. And so that keeps us curious and the demand, and puts pressure on us to create and keep growing and be the best version of ourselves. So it goes both ways for our talent and for what we're creating for the end user. So
yeah. Well, let's talk about the future of Grown Rogue. And, I know you said 10 years ago, maybe you would have never seen yourself here, but when you look forward for both Grown Rogue and for yourself as a leader, what are you currently learning, stretching into, becoming? Talk to me about the future Sarah, the future Grown Rogue.
I love it. Great question. I think it's more of the same. It's more of the same on purpose.
Yes.
It's more of refining, practicing the disciplines while simultaneously, while leaning into those, right? To go deeper in that. Also putting myself in places where I am going to take that action to become a better version, a better leader, to be like, I have the confidence because I have my habits, I have my things that I will default to, but it's also allowing me to put myself into situations where I'm going to have to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to stretch. I'm going to have to live with that discomfort of that curiosity around I may fail, but I may wildly succeed.
Yeah.
Right. And living in that mindset, I think I've gotten I don't want to say I've gotten comfortable. I find that that's where I exist. That's my vibration in life, is to exist in places where you might not make the shot. Like you might not, but you might make the shot because you practice it so much, that discipline, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And even if you fail, you're going to land on greatness because you've developed such beautiful habits and discipline that's what we're built for. Yeah. That is what we're built for.
That's what we're built for. Yeah. And you have this belief, you said it earlier, that, the failure it's not loss, it's data, it's information. And so, right. So even just taking this idea of like, if I leap and I don't make the basket, let's say, if we stick with this basketball, I will always stick with women's basketball metaphors. I love them.
Same.
We've learned a lot. Okay, so this is what I need to strengthen, or we need to talk about the rebound, or we need to, right? Like it is, if we don't take the shot, there's also no lesson learned. And so we got to be willing to be vulnerable and do it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it takes practice. You got to keep showing up. You got to keep doing a podcast with your friend. And
that's right.
Stretching it, learn it.
Well, let's in my final question and kind of beginning to close up today, if someone's listening today that is, again, maybe not leading a company, maybe they are, maybe they're leading a team, they're building a business, they're just navigating this season of the growth and change that's within their life. What's one message you'd want them to carry with them?
Keep trying, keep going, just keep going forward. I think for me, that's one way that I reflect upon everything. I've just continuously moved life forward. Just keep going. Just keep going forward. Don't go backwards. Don't go sideways. Just keep going forward. Forward, keep trying. Get up every day. Talk to yourself. I have to talk to myself, like literally talking to myself, literally saying, today is going to be a great day. And then maybe I have to write it down 10 times.
Yeah.
Like literally, today's going to be a great day. I'm going to do great things.
Yeah.
I am good enough. I am going to succeed. It's literally telling myself it is going to all be okay.
Yeah. Yes. So beautiful. I want to again just highlight there's no secret, right? It's like nobody's holding a secret or one tool. What you just described is human-centered personal growth. I have a relationship with myself and I tend to it. Like that's the daily work. Yeah. And so I love that. I love sending that off as a message to listeners. The answer isn't out there. It's always in here.
Such a deep knowing in all of us. There's such a deep knowing if we just tap into that channel. And sometimes you need others to help bring that out in you.
Yes.
Which is where you might find coaching, or you might find whoever that person might be, or maybe you're the one, right? That knowing, that deep knowing, it's really, that self-awareness is critical for moving things forward.
Yeah. My self-coaching moments are in the car that's my self-coaching office. If I don't have the kids in there, just like you, I'm just talking to myself, giving my best motivational speeches.
I mean, I kid you not, last night, Tiffany, I was laying in bed thinking about today's interview. I had the whole thing down pat in my head. I heard your voice. I was answering the question. I had at 2 a.m. had a great conversation with you. I wish I played that back for you.
I love that.
I was, doing all the things, all the work all the tools you've been giving me.
Yes. Well, I hope we matched that today, your vision of it. Sarah, thank you so much for your time and your energy. And we'll link to Grown Rogue in the show notes. And while the article that Sarah and I were talking about isn't out yet, there are some beautiful writings that she's put out into the world. So we will definitely link those in as well. We appreciate you, Sarah. Thank you so much.
Tiffany, I'm so honored and I'm such a fan and I will continue. And you are just a magnificent, magical unicorn. My love overflows for you. I quite honestly, as a leader, as a mom, as a friend, I'm probably going to cry right now, but I really you've been so impactful and I hope everyone can find people in their lives that can bring impact for them. And my only hope is that I will create impact the way others have left imprints on my heart and on my life. Yeah. Go forward.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love today's conversation. Thank you for joining me, everyone. Be sure to join me next week. It will be a solo episode, and we are going to focus on the science of failing forward. So join me next week. Be well, y'all. Bye. Rewired listeners, if this episode resonated with you, I'd be so honored to stay connected. Follow the podcast at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and iHeartRadio. Share an episode with someone in your life and leave a 5-star review. It helps people access these tools and this work and grow our community. At Empower Coaching and Training, we believe that when you understand your brain, you gain the power to change your patterns, your relationships, and your life. If you're ready to go deeper, you can always learn more about coaching and resources at yesempower.com.
Hey, it's Jen with Empower. If you've been enjoying the Rewired podcast, thank you. We're so glad you're here. And if you're ready to go deeper, visit us at yesempower.com and explore our personal and professional development workshops, our coaching academy, and our free weekly mindfulness broadcast. If the Rewired podcast resonates with you, there's more waiting for you at yesempower.com.